Hello, hello. We have a new chapter of One Piece. This is 1098. Now, I have kind of this informal system in my mind for anticipating One Piece chapters where if I see that it's trending on Twitter, it's like plus a few points. If I see that there's a thread made about it on Hexbear, that's a few points. All of these, of course, being made as soon as the unofficial version comes out, which is usually kind of halfway through the week. If the unofficial version comes out even earlier because they just can't contain their hype, that's also plus a few points. And all of those things happen this week, which means this is going to be a big one. Now, of course, I stayed far, far away from all of that discussion. I didn't want to get spoiled on anything. I wanted to, be surprised when I read the chapter. But one thing I did do is before all that stuff started, I was reading a lot of discussion around chapter 1097 because I was kind of curious. If you don't remember, I proposed the theory in the last chapter, which is that Kuma gains his reputation as the tyrant because he, in part of this long undercover plan, and possibly to as like a prisoner exchange to get back Ginny, not a prisoner exchange, but just sacrificing himself so the world government will give back Ginny. He allows himself to be reprogrammed, turned into the cyborg weapon by Vegapunk. Of course, there's also conditions for him to return to his original allegiance of the revolutionaries, but in the world government's eyes, he's completely sacrificing his humanity. And I think what they have him do at first, before all the Pacifista stuff, is rule over the kingdom where he was once a priest, mistreat the old people, become this horrible tyrant as a major demotivator, as a major quash to the inspired minds that saw him before, and just to kind of reinforce and re-cement the absolute power of the world government, which I think will be very tragic and heartbreaking. So I was curious if other people were kind of speculating that that was the way that would go. But what I saw instead was mostly a discussion around some chronological confusion, which didn't even occur to me as I was reading the chapter, that we saw narration bubbles showing how long ago different events were taking place. And Bonnie hadn't been born yet, the glutton jewelry Bonnie, which would make her in present day at most like 14 years old, I think. And of course, I, like everybody else, assumed that Bonnie was just a young woman. Does this mean that she has been using her devil fruit non-stop, continuously, to make that her apparent age, when in fact she is just a little kid? It would explain some stuff. She is pretty childish. I think that would be kind of a neat twist. It's not like super consequential. But yeah, I saw some people discussing that, and it seemed interesting. Interesting cover page here. Very punk rock feel. Brook busting out a solo using an electric eel to power his guitar. Unfortunately, it seems that Oda did not finish the art in time. Maybe this will be changed for Tankobon release, but maybe another sign that this chapter is going to be crazy, that he focused so much on it that he wasn't able to complete the cover page. And in the end, Oda is a human being, and I'm just excited that we're getting another chapter without a break. Okay, so we're in Baltigo. We've seen this place a few times before. Land of the White Sand, where the Revolutionary Army is headquartered. They're coordinating some aid to rebellions happening around the world. It's not going great. Kuma is taking on a lot. Ginny's been captured. He's pissed off about that, understandably. He doesn't immediately just go into, I'm going to sacrifice myself somehow to get her back, because, why would they even think that's an option? The world government isn't in the business of making such deals. But Kuma is rampaging. I think maybe he's hoping to understand what happened to Ginny through attacking these different world government people. 3 years of war have paid off at last, all thanks to the Revolutionary Army. Oh, is this the first time we're seeing the Revolutionary Army's flag? It's pretty cool. We got the dragon in the middle, the RA. I don't think we've ever seen that before, have we? I don't know, but whatever. Seeing dragon. Yes. Our unit was wiped out by a surprise attack. Cry more. Get wrecked. Captain of the Revolutionary Army was abducted and made into Celestial Dragon's wife. 2 years later. So she had a kid with the revolution, with the Celestial Dragon. Okay, my theory's already wrong. I thought Kuma sacrificing himself to get Ginny out of prison. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so she's been dumped back down because she got sick. She already has Bonnie as a kid dying. The art in general is pretty sketchy in this one. So you didn't just mean the cover page. In general, this chapter, this is the first time this has ever happened as far as I know. But not the first time for a lot of manga series, you know, like Hunter x Hunter has had multiple chapters in a row that kind of came out semi-finished, sometimes very, very sketchy. I don't know. It's fine. I'm sure it'll get cleaned up for the Tankobon release. It's kind of an interesting like peek behind the scenes, but I hope Oda's taking care of himself. I hope this isn't a sign that he's hitting a limit. Don't come looking for me. Okay, so he heads back to Sherbet Kingdom, which is looking very completely drawn. Yeah, so basically the next phase of his life that needs to be explained is he raises Bonnie for a while. We know that Bonnie has lovely memories of her childhood with her Papa Kuma. But at some point, he then takes on this notoriety of being the tyrant of Sherbet Kingdom and the king. And then the world government deal happens. Just trying to line up what else is going to happen here. Her face and body, all of her skin turns blue and hard as stone. It's been exposed to natural light. What the heck disease is this? This is like a new thing. This isn't like what, you know, in Law's flashback, there's a horrid disease and but I don't know, this could be significant because it's pretty weird. And it's weird that she got this disease after living in Marijois and being with a world government celestial dragon type. It could mean something. There could be something to this. So Bonnie lives. Raise your daughter. And here we see, the the, you know, not perfect, quite sad, but in some ways nostalgic life of Bonnie's early childhood, being raised by her loving father, Kuma, who's, I guess, not her biological father, but who cares? So she doesn't have the Buccaneer blood in her, that is. Got Ginny's appetite. Aw, calling him daddy, bursts out in tears, scarfing down bread after bread. One of these panels is not like all the others. Ending with Kuma blasting away. I suppose he's still going on his Revolutionary Army adventures at this time. Because, like, he just can. He can warp himself anywhere, so it's not hard for him to multitask, you know? I'm just putting the kid down now. She'll be out like a rock for, like, you know, she's been sleeping through the night pretty good. I think we can do a couple revolutions. Yes, this contrast. Here we see another... Oh, they actually did make an iron cage for Ginny to sleep in so that Kuma doesn't roll over and crush her. Sure. And here we see another moment from Kuma's life, one where Kuma, of course, isn't really the focal point, but Sabo that at the end of Luffy's flashback, the origin of the three brothers and their unshakable bond, they believe Sabo to have died. But the Revolutionary Army, coming in to observe or interfere with this world government action, sees Sabo at death's door, floating in the water, rescues him, trains him, lets him thrive. This poor amnesiac boy. We see already that he's just trying to fight Kuma like the friggin' little gremlin he is. Okay, so, the next big event. We're back in the church. Shutter all the windows. Shut the door. Ooh. It's not white lead disease. White lead disease is the thing that got Law's family, the orphanage and everything. So yeah, this calcification, this blue stone. He's quitting the revolutionaries to spend more time with his daughter. I want to be with her. Live without regrets. We'll ask every doctor in the world that we can. So I don't know, the way that they're describing this, the way that the specific symptoms and stuff are focused on, I feel like it has to be significant. It has to, like, somehow connect to something else that we've seen, or something that's been hinted at, or something. I don't know. But it's very curious, isn't it? And of course, we know that Bonnie is still alive. Oh, so, okay. Here's what I'm thinking now. A lot of my theory could still come to pass. We could still have horrible, brainwashed cyborg King Kuma, tyrant of Sherbet Kingdom. This would explain also why Bonnie feels so betrayed by Vegapunk, that Vegapunk programmed him this way. But it's because he has to make a deal with Vegapunk, or at least obstinately to the world government. He has to sacrifice himself for Vegapunk to cure Bonnie. So Vegapunk is the doctor they find that can cure this, but of course he's working for the world government. So they make an on-the-surface deal that Kuma will become the world government's cyborg slave. But really, Vegapunk, who has revolutionary sympathies, deep programs Kuma to have all of this other behavior that they know they can have as kind of an emergency trump card. You're a vampire that can't come into the light. Take this cross. Yeah, you're in a church. Why would a cross bother Bonnie? Yeah, so 7 years ago, Bonnie was age 5. So she's like 12 now. And she's just aging herself up with her devil fruit all the time. That's really funny. That's pretty crazy. What a twist. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Should I add something more to say? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. Vampires. It's, like, curious that there's this vampire-esque condition. Maybe this is what was, like, lurking in my subconscious when I was like, this all sounds so familiar. This all sounds like this is supposed to trigger something. I think what it finally triggered is the idea that, oh, it's triggered by sunlight. It has this kind of overlapping thing with vampirism in that regard. Who else do we know that's, like, just straight up a vampire? Dear Stussy, who is working with Vegapunk, who is introduced in this arc, her beautiful clone. Now, she has been seen going out into the sunlight. It's not like she has that aspect of the condition, but there's, like, very thin line being drawn here, I think, that may have some significance. We'll see, though. Don't do it even as a joke. Just jealous because it makes you look so beautiful. It's so weird to see Kuma acting like this. Such a friendly, funny, silly guy. Such a goofy dad. Instead of a terrifying robot that just warps in and annihilates people. Cute. Oh, this is why she's Jewelry Bonnie. Ah, aha. I see, I see, I see. Okay. This is his question. This is his traditional question. If you were gonna take a trip, where would you want to go? Whoop! It's interesting that she's learned about the Sky Islands from a book, where probably they're being presented as a fantastical place. But Kuma, who has the full extent of the knowledge of the revolutionary armies, isn't actually aware of Sky Islands. You know? Like, it's one of those things where you think, oh, like, way back at Jaya, yeah, they're uninformed. They're simpletons. They're idiots like Spring Boy and stuff. Like, they're so skeptical of such things. They don't believe in the wonders of the world. So, of course, they don't know about Sky Islands. But it's even people like the Revolutionary Army who really know the breadth of the world still have no idea about Sky Islands. It's pretty neat. Like, I like this idea that there's kind of like cascading layers of secrets in the world of One Piece. And just, it's not like an escalating thing. It's not like a strict hierarchy, but that Luffy just happens to go to the Sky Island because he truly believes it's there. Maybe Nico will be there since it's so close to the sun. He starts doing the drums of liberation. Maybe once you turn 20, is your 19th going to be on Fishman Island? Sapphire scales. Only heard a few cases in recent memory. All kinds of natural light, sunlight, moonlight, cause the sun to spread. Even if you block the cause entirely, it will eventually spread over time. Your daughter has 5 years to live at best. She won't see her 10th birthday, and there's no known cure yet. Jeez. That's a very clever lie. Because that's still extremely sad, but it's nowhere near as sad as the truth to say you won't be cured until age 10, rather than, you know, you will die at age 10. Oh, man. So, again, I still... Like, Bonnie lives past age 10. We know that. And then her apparent age becomes much greater. So could it be that it's the age fruit that's helping her survive? And maybe what Vegapunk does for them isn't that he knows some cure that no one else in the world knows, which wouldn't really make sense because he's a good man, as far as we know, and would probably want to share that information. Maybe instead it's that he has the age fruit, and he says, I'll give this to your daughter because it will help her. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna get better when I'm 10. Then I can go around the world with you. Oh, no. Okay, and now this is happening again, too. So all the pieces are kind of falling into place for this idea of Kuma becoming the king. Some arrangement with the world government, and the current king going berserk, and Kuma needing to deal with him, thus creating like a gap. Okay. Alright. Well, let's wait for the next chapter. Crazy stuff. Good stuff. Poor Bonnie. Poor Kuma. It's gonna be a sad flashback. We know that there's no real happy ending here. It's gonna be so bittersweet because we know that somehow Bonnie is going to be able to survive, but that her life will be a hard one. And then Kuma becomes what he is. And then we'll go back to the present, where one of the five elder stars, the Gorosei, is fighting all these people in present day. Crazy. Okay, bye-bye.